Hello everyone, welcome to Royal Palace online crash course. Today I am going to discuss about mechanical properties of solids, that is elasticity. So in this chapter what we will study, two types of solids we will study. One is elastic solid and plastic solid. Elasticity means it is the property of the body upon removal of restoring force. Suppose if there is a elastic body, let us assume this is an elastic rubber band. If you apply a force F like this force is called deformation force. Deformation force. Deformation means it changes the shape of the body. Deformation force. When you apply deformation force, this elastic body will elongate. This elastic body will get elongated like this. It is getting elongated. This is delta L or elongation. Once you remove this deforming force, body will regain its shape back like this. It is going to regain its shape back. This kind of bodies are called elastic bodies. Elastic bodies. And the bodies which can't regain their original size and shape upon removal of deforming force, those are called plastic bodies. So in these elastic bodies we are studying some properties. First one will be stress. You can see here, I have written the formula already. Stress. Stress is nothing but force divided by unit area. How much deforming force you are applying for a body, this is a elastic body. For this elastic body, how much deforming force you are applying, divided by the cross sectional area where you are applying, is called stress. This is stress. If they ask to calculate stress, take force applied and cross sectional area on which it applied, then you will get the answer. Next, strain. Strain definition is change in dimension by original dimension. Exactly speaking, strain is change in dimension, delta d by d. Change in dimension by original dimension means that change may be in length, then it is called longitudinal strain. The stress which produces longitudinal strain is called longitudinal stress. Three types of stress will be there. One is longitudinal stress, then is shear stress, and next one is bulk stress. Here strain also three types. If you apply a deforming force, suppose if there is a change in area or change in length, then it is called longitudinal stress and longitudinal strain. Longitudinal stress means this is longitudinal stress. You are applying force across a cross sectional area, there will be increase in its length. When there is change in length, we call it as longitudinal strain. When there is change in area, we call it as shear strain. When there is change in volume, we call it as bulk strain. Change in area means suppose there is a block like this, or let us assume your textbook or any notebook is there. You apply a force like this tangentially, you are just pressing it tangentially. Then what happens? The upper layers will move forward like this, and there will be some angle here, theta. This is called tangential stress. Also, the stress which changes the area, it is going to change the area of the body. So this is the change in area, tangential stress. And bulk stress means you apply force from all sides. Let us take a rubber ball, you apply force from all sides like this, shrink it, then that is called bulk strain. The strain which is going to decrease the volume is called, the stress which is going to decrease the volume is called bulk stress. So three types of strain, three types of stress: longitudinal stress, tangential stress, and bulk stress. Longitudinal stress will produce longitudinal strain. Longitudinal stress will produce longitudinal strain. Tangential stress will produce tangential strain, or it is also called aerial stress or aerial strain. Next, bulk stress will produce bulk strain. So these stress and strain are directly related. You already know in Hooke's law what it says. According to Hooke's law, stress is directly proportional to strain within elastic limit, but actually speaking it is within proportionality limit. If you see the behavior of wire under increasing load, there is one theory question, behavior of wire under increasing load, you will get straight line, stress is proportional to strain until proportionality limit. So within proportionality limit, stress is directly proportional to strain. After proportionality limit, we will get elastic limit. Within elastic limit, body can get back to its original position, but stress and strain are not directly related. So if you remove proportionality, stress is equal to strain, stress is proportional to strain. If you remove proportionality, stress is equal to M into strain, where M is called modulus of elasticity. That's why written here, modulus is equal to stress by strain. Three types of modulus are there. One is Young's modulus, Y is equal to F by A divided by delta L by L, FL by AE, FL by AE. This is Young's modulus. Similarly, rigidity modulus, shear modulus or rigidity modulus is equal to F by A, and this theta will take, theta is nothing but delta L by L, tan theta. We will take this as F by A theta. This is rigidity modulus. Next is bulk modulus. Bulk modulus K is equal to F by A. You are applying from all sides force tangentially, normally you are applying, that's why we will take this as pressure, P by delta V by V. This is equal to PV by delta V. These are the three types of modulus of velocity. This chapter is very simple and problems will be also very simple. You have to just remember the formulas. Next is Poisson's ratio. What is Poisson's ratio means? If you are elongating a wire, let us take you are elongating a wire. There is a wire, you are elongating. When you are elongating the wire, what happens? The wire becomes thin and length increases. The thickness of the wire decreases like this. The decrease in this decrease we call it as lateral strain, because laterally the dimensions are reduced. This is called lateral strain. Lateral strain by longitudinal strain is called Poisson's ratio. Lateral strain by longitudinal strain is called Poisson's ratio. And the theoretical value, you can see here, theoretical value of Poisson's ratio lies from -1 to 1 by 2, whereas practical value lies from 0 to 1 by 2. This is very important point for your competitive exams. What is Poisson's ratio? It is denoted by sigma. Lateral strain by longitudinal strain. Lateral strain means decrease in radius, minus delta R by R divided by delta L by L. Minus delta R by R divided by delta L by L, that is Poisson's ratio. That is lateral strain by longitudinal strain. Next, torsion of a cylinder. Torsion of a cylinder means you can clamp one cylinder. You clamp one cylinder to a beam, and one side you attach this to the load. There is a beam like this. One side you attach it to the load. Attach it to the load. The couple produced per unit twist. Couple produced per unit twist. Couple per unit twist. Couple per unit twist is given as C is equal to pi eta r power 4 by 2L. couple per unit twist is given as pi eta r power 4 by 12. And bending of a beam, suppose instead of cylinder you take one beam, that means one metal rod, one beam like this. This beam, upon application of some load, it will bend. If you apply some load at the center, that beam will bend. That bending length is equal to y Ig by r, where Ig is moment of inertia. Ig is moment of inertia. Y is Young's modulus Ig by r. So these are the two formulas. So we can derive this just by using the concept of rigidity modulus. F by A theta, will take the theta value and will substitute, you will get pi n eta r to the power of 4 by 2L. And next, maximum length of the wire that can be hanged. What happens here? Sometimes that wire will break on its own weight. If you take a wire, if you are hanging a wire, how much length you can hang? So that it will not break. Why the wire breaks? Because of its own weight also it will break. If you take center of mass of the wire, below there is some weight. Because of its own weight, sometimes these wires will break. That is called breaking stress. How will you calculate breaking stress? Mg is your own weight, is equal to F by A. F you take Mg divided by A. Then stress is equal to F by A. This M you can write volume of the body into density of the body into G divided by area. Now volume I can write area of cross section into length. So breaking stress is equal to L rho G. Breaking stress is equal to what you will get? If you calculate this, you will get L rho G. This is the breaking stress. From that, how much length it can hang? You make L as the subject, you will get S by rho G. So this is the condition. Sometimes a wire will break on its own weight. Because of its own weight, it will break. So how much? That stress we call it as breaking stress of the wire. So maximum length this much can be hanged in case of a wire. So these concepts are very useful in construction of lifts. If you go to shopping malls, we will have lifts in buildings and apartments. Everything is based on this mechanical properties of solids. Sometimes what happens, when you are getting down of the lift, that the floor of the lift will not touch exactly the floor of the building. It will be a step high or low. That is because the widths of the lift will be enlarged, that means elongated, because of the weight what we are keeping. So the person who is standing, they will also give the number of persons. Maximum number of persons are 6. Beyond that 6, if you are standing, that lift will not move. They will give that programming such that this much weight is lost. Suppose you are more than that weight. Suppose if a lift can weigh only 200 kg, if you keep 201, that lift will not move. Reason is, they will make a program that 200 if it crosses, lift will not move. Why? Because that will be the breaking stress of that wire. If you cross 201, there are chances that lift may break, lift wires may break. That they will calculate by using the formula this only. By using this formula only, they will calculate how much weight we can keep inside a lift. So if you are crossing that, there is a possibility that lift wires may break. Sometimes lift wires will elongate. Instead of that, because of that, what happens, when you are getting down, the floor of the lift will not exactly touch the floor of the building. Suppose this you are in first floor, this will be your lift, you have to get down, it is not touching exactly. That means the wires will get elongated. So in that case, how they will calculate how many persons should step into the lift based on the braking stress of the weights of the lift. This is more important in that case. And energy is stored. Here I am applying force in first starting as shown that there is a wire. I am applying force like this. When I am applying force, there is some displacement. Delta L is the displacement. That means there exists some work done, some amount of work is done by me. That work done is stored in the form of energy. Energy per unit volume. Energy per unit volume of wire is equal to half into stress into strain. So these are the formulas and quick recap of your mechanical properties of solids. Now let us see one small problem based on this. See, there was a wire which is clamped between P and Q. These are the stands. In between P and Q, I clamped a wire. I clamped it. Then afterwards, exactly at the midpoint, what I have done, I have placed a mass M. That means I applied some force here. When I applied some force, there is some elongation inside this wire. Wire is not broken. This wire is coming down like this. There is some elongation. Now what I am asking is, what is the elongation produced in the wire? This was the question. Now, initially this was the length. Initial length is L1 is PQ, initial length, because it was between P and Q. Now afterwards its length is PR plus QR. L2 is PR plus QR. Okay. Now what I have to calculate? Delta L is, from this what I can write, delta L is equal to PR plus QR minus PQ. Okay. PR plus QR minus PQ. Now that is delta L. What is asking is how much strain also we can calculate from this. Strain also we can calculate, and this is the condition, PR plus QR minus PQ. Now this what you can write? This is nothing but PR and QR both are equal. This is equal. Exactly at the center I kept the mass, so therefore this I can write delta L is equal to 2 PR or 2 QR minus PQ. Okay. No, 2 PR minus PQ. Now what we can do? This X you have to calculate by using Pythagoras theorem. Exactly you divide half, this will be L. This is PR. By using Pythagoras theorem you can calculate. This will be 2 into, this is X, this is L. You want PR. So you can take the Pythagoras theorem like this. This is L. This is X. You have to calculate this. You can observe here this part. So 2 into, apply Pythagoras theorem, L square plus X square, L square plus X square minus, what is this PQ value? PQ value is 2L. L square plus X square minus PQ value is 2L. This you can expand. This is delta L. Okay. This is delta L. Now what you can do? This you can expand it. By using binomial theorem you can expand. I think you will get a delta L as X square by using Pythagoras theorem, if you by using binomial theorem you can expand this and calculate, you will get a delta L. I think X square by 2L you will get. You will get X square by 2L. Okay. Now afterwards you can calculate delta L by L. X square by L you will get. If you solve this you will get x square by L. What you can expand this, otherwise L square you can take outside and you can write 1 plus x square by L square whole power 1 by 2 and you can use binomial theorem. This is this value is root no. Here you will get by using Pythagoras theorem you will get root. So I have not written that root. You will get root. Here you can take L square outside. 1 plus x square by L square whole power 1 by 2 can write and use binomial theorem. You will get delta L is equal to x square by L. This is the strain developed. This is strain developed. Sorry, this is the increase in length. Suppose if they ask what is the strain developed, you can write delta L by L is equal to x square by L divided by total length is 2L. So this you will get it as x square by 2L square. This is the strain developed. This is the strain developed. So you can observe here what we followed is basic formulas only. Sometimes they will ask some questions related to heat. Based on elasticity we can combine towards heat. What they will ask is, there is a rod. There is a rod clamped between two rigid supports. This rod is at a certain temperature T or certain temperature 0 degrees. Let us assume the rod is at a temperature of 0 degrees Celsius. Now this rod, what I will do, I will heat it. This is symbol for heating. I am heating this rod. Once this rod gets heated up, this rod applies some force. Apply some force on this rigid support like this, because it is getting heated up. Any body that is heated up will get expanded. So it starts applying force like this. Starts applying force. Then what happens? You will ask you to calculate what is the thermal stress developed on the wall. That means force per unit area of that wall. So that is how you can calculate is stress is equal to F by A. But here this you have to calculate. What he will give is Young's modulus of the rod and change in temperature. So by using the formula of Young's modulus we can find Y is equal to FL by AE or FL by A delta L, where delta L is the elongation. And you know from thermal properties, delta L is equal to L alpha delta T. Delta L is equal to L alpha delta T. Delta L is equal to L alpha delta T. Delta L by L. Delta L by L is equal to alpha delta T. So here L by delta L, what you can write? L by delta L is equal to what you can write? F by A alpha delta T. F by A alpha delta T you can write. F by A alpha delta T you can write like this. Now what you will get? F is equal to, or F by A if you want, F by A is equal to Y alpha delta T. F by A is equal to Y alpha delta T. So this is the thermal stress developed, or what is the force acting if they ask, you can directly calculate what is the force acting. So this is the concept of mechanical properties of solids. Very easy chapter, you can just go through your formulas and you can do the problems. If you have any doubts or any topic if you want, you can leave in the comment section. Thank you for joining me.